All right, let's go sort some clothes.
Well, when I think of Joanne, I think first of joy, and just the joy that she brings to work.
My name is Joanne Weeg. I'm a laundry assistant.
If you're gonna spend a day with her, you better have your running shoes on because she doesn't slow down. She goes out and picks up the dirty stuff, brings it in, sorts it out.
As I'm sorting, I'm making sure there isn't spots to spray.
Throws it in the washers.
Wash it, send it through the dryers, fold it, get it hung up so it's nice and neat for the residents, and I deliver them. Hi, Kenny.
Hi.
I got some clothes for you, buddy. I spend a lot of time, as much time as I can, talking with the residents as I'm going back and forth.
I really see the peace of God and the joy that just comes through because Joanne is always smiling. Then when she's passing out the linen, she's always attentive, greeting the residents, and just brings a bright light into the hallways as she's delivering those clothes.
My mom had ended up with dementia, so we moved her into assisted living, and I started coming every day to visit. Scott finally said to me one day, "You might as well just come to work here. You're here all the time."
I said, well, since you're here every day, why don't you get a job here and that way you get paid to be here too.
Joanne was very complimentary of the staff and just the care that we gave her mother. And then after her mother passed, Joanne actually applied for a position and just loved working here.
I see my mom and a lot of the residents, just knowing that they need somebody to talk to and just somebody to say hi and be a part of their day. This is their home, Laundry is very important. I enjoy it, but it helps with their dignity. I mean, they deserve to have nice looking clothes and feel good about what they're wearing and how they look.
My favorite part of her is her regard for the residents. That's first to her, to make sure that their clothing is in perfect order, as good as it can be, and back to them all nice and clean. And she also takes the time to talk to the resident. When she's going down the hall, she'll stop and give them a hug, and their face just lights up. I just love to see that.
She's treated me very nice. And it's been very helpful because I was new here, and I'm sorry. And anyway, she and I have always been able to, "Hi there, how are you?" And she's just wonderful, I think. I'm very proud of the fact that my clothes are washed and laid out on the bed.
She keeps very good care of her clothes, and she just is very accommodating, and if my clothes aren't marked, she makes sure they are marked.
The residents all lived hard lives, good lives, but hard, and they deserve to be able to be taken care of and thought of in a good way, and they all just deserve that. The past 2 years have been very hard for my family. We lost my mom. A year later, we lost my brother, and not even 9 months later, we lost my oldest son. So if I didn't have my faith, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today.
Faith is a very important part of what Joanne goes through, and that was really tested a few months ago when we found out that her son had passed. And they actually came here to the center to let her know the news, and I know her caregivers and fellow staff just gathered around her at that time, really supported her, and helped her through that hard spot.
That's because of my coworkers and these residents. I couldn't do it without them. That's God's love, though. He puts that in your heart.
She's a witness to God in a lot of ways, the way she talks about Him and is willing to share her life stories and how the Lord has helped her.
I have I believe, a very close relationship with God. I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict of 37 years, and I could not have done that without Him. I have to turn everything over to Him every morning and thank Him every night for the day that He gave me. None of us can live a life that Jesus lived, but we can never be that good. But I think He brings out the goodness that's within us, and that's what can keep us all going.
When Jesus said, "Whoever wants to be first among you needs to be last and needs to be the servant of all." And that's where I see our laundry coming in, how they do serve. And it's behind closed doors, but they really do bring joy into our residents' lives by their interactions and by the way they keep the clothes clean and well delivered.
Everybody's valuable. Everybody can make a difference if you just live out the GSS way.